And good morning, everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is November 18th. It's actually Mickey Mouse's birthday, so he's 91, so there you go. I'll get to the weather in just a minute. We got a really extreme weather pattern going on this week, so from one extreme to the other. All right, on our show today, Dr. Duna Aroof is here with Envision. She's going to talk about LASIK eye surgery. Also, from Tea Party Sentinels, Richard Palmer is here. They have their meeting coming up on Monday of next week, a week from today. And we're going to bring you a segment with Leslie Coretti of the LA Professionals and also LA Carpet. And it's not really carpet we're going to be talking about. We're talking about bathtub remodels that they do, believe it or not. All right, as far as meetings go today, JRF Media and Communications Committee in the boardroom at 1:30. Now let's get to the weather. And when I mean extreme, today we're going to be upper 80s, warm, a little offshore breeze. Most of those Santa Ana wind conditions have died down. But then look ahead. Look at this. We've got a chance of evening rain coming out on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, a 70% chance of rain on Wednesday, 50% chance on Thursday, 20% chance on Friday. Look at the temperature drop just from today to Wednesday. Now, that's what I mean by extreme. In fact, it's such a temperature drop, they are expecting snow levels to go down to 6,000 feet. And for rain-wise, areas of Southern California, in this area, they're looking maybe during these couple days, possibly up to an inch of rain. Other areas could see 1.5 inches to maybe even 2 inches of rain. We'll see if that happens. That's what's in the forecast right now. And the local mountains, well, I should say not local, meaning Saddleback, I mean, of course, Big Bear in those areas, snow level down to 6,000 feet. So they could get their first round of snow in Big Bear, Arrowhead, the ski resorts. Certainly not enough to go skiing on, but a good way to start the season. So yeah, a decent amount of rain. We'll see if that changes, but that's from, I've looked at like 3 different weather reports. They're all pretty similar. It dances around a little bit on Tuesday and Friday, but yeah, a good chance of maybe up to 1 inch of rain between Wednesday and Thursday. Let's look around the area. And again, hot today. As we've seen all those temperatures, you're going to see them drastically go down. They're going to go down by, maybe 10 to 12 degrees tomorrow, and then another maybe 10 degrees the day after that. So quite a difference. So what a week. And this is not unusual. We often see these patterns this time of the year. We'll get a little bit of Santa Ana winds going on and then rain. Then, it kind of repeats itself every couple weeks. But getting the rain in like this, and if we do, that's really good news. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Do you hear but not understand? I have good news for you. A proprietary system for verifying hearing correction, Verified Best Speech Clarity, is now available through the All-American Hearing Network. This means hearing improvement can now be verified and documented. Your individual hearing correction is guaranteed in writing. Call today to reserve your complimentary private consultation and experience word clarity dialed back into focus on the spot. Try AMP, the world's smallest hearing aid at an unbelievably small price, just $750. It's ready to go in one visit, comfortable to wear, and virtually invisible when worn. Yes, you can now have verified best speech clarity. Hear every word. Call today to reserve your complimentary private consultation and experience word clarity dialed back into focus on the spot, risk-free.
If you asked me what I wanted to be when I was a child, I would have told you a princess or an astronaut, maybe even a chef. But things change. I may not have become a princess, but I found someone who treated me like one. I may not have become an astronaut, but I still got to see the world. I may not have become a chef, but you would never leave my house hungry. The Emeritus Institute has kept my love of learning alive. Every day is a new adventure, and the Emeritus classes have made it possible to keep living out my dreams. Sign up today and begin your life's next adventure.
Hiring a realtor you trust is the first step in selling your home. Selecting an escrow company that can safeguard your money and personal information throughout the transaction is the next step. Escrow Options will guarantee the safety of your personal information and funds from the risks of wire fraud and cyber theft. Choose the escrow company that works for you. Escrow Options Group, protecting consumer assets in escrow since 2005.
Envision, the eye doctor's #1 choice.
I have worked with the doctors at Envision for over 20 years. Their experience, state-of-the-art technology, and positive outcomes have earned them my trust in taking care of our mutual patients.
With clear vision, all things are possible. To schedule your appointment today, contact us at 866-599-2740.
And welcome back. Today with me is Dr. Duna Rowe from Envision, and we are talking about LASIK surgery. Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here today.
Thank you.
And LASIK surgery has been around for how many years now? 30?
Yes, it's been around for about 3 decades now.
Okay.
And it's one of the most common elective surgeries that is done around the world and in the United States. And it's a very liberating surgery for a lot of folks. There are a few reasons why somebody might want to consider LASIK.
Okay.
So the convenience of not having to wear glasses or contact lenses every day. Folks who are active, who want to do outdoor activities, working out, swimming, hiking, and they feel like glasses can get in the way, they can prevent them from wearing the sunglasses that they need, or just the hassle of having to wear a contact lens in every day is the major reason why folks consider LASIK. Another reason is cost. So glasses, the lenses that go in the glasses, and contact lenses can get pretty costly year after year when you update your prescription or if you just need new contact lenses.
Okay.
Cumulatively, the cost of getting those over the years, it's actually more cost efficient for a patient to consider getting LASIK.
Okay.
The third reason is safety. So putting a contact lens in every day introduces a foreign body that you apply to the surface of your eye every day, and the risk of infection from wearing a contact lens every day over the course of a lifetime is actually 10 times higher than the risk of doing LASIK surgery and getting an infection.
Okay.
So it's a convenience, it's cosmetic, it's safer, and it's more cost effective.
Okay, let's look at some of these slides here, and you can kind of show us what happens with LASIK.
So the cornea is the very front part of the eye. That's the part of the eye that undergoes LASIK surgery. It's like the window to the eye. If you think of a watch, it's basically like the glass that's on the watch. You see through it, but you don't actually see it. And that's the part of the eye that we do LASIK surgery on. So it's just done right at the very, very superficial layers of the eye. There are several types of vision correction that can be done with LASIK. So on my next slide, I have a few conditions like nearsightedness, farsightedness, and astigmatism. So nearsightedness, the eyeball is a little bit longer than the normal eye, and that makes distance vision blurry. Hyperopia or farsightedness is the eye is actually a little bit shorter than the average eye, and those folks up close vision is blurry. Astigmatism is where the shape of the eye is a little bit different. So if an eye had 0 astigmatism, it would be shaped like a perfect basketball. But everybody's eye has a little bit of astigmatism or is shaped a little bit more like a football rather than a basketball. Presbyopia is the inability to see clear images up close, and that's because the lens loses its flexibility as we get older, and this is something that can develop in our 40s or our 50s.
So that is probably the most common at the bottom there.
Yes, correct. So everybody gets presbyopia at some point, and the other conditions are conditions that usually develop in our teen years or our early 20s and continue to develop over time. So all of these conditions can be corrected with LASIK.
Okay.
So LASIK is a procedure that basically changes the shape of the surface of the eye in order to correct all of those conditions, nearsightedness, farsightedness, and astigmatism. We basically create a very thin flap on the surface of the cornea, lift it up, and do a laser ablation. So I'll walk you through the step-by-step of how that procedure is done. So first, we use a laser. It's called the femtosecond laser that creates that cut of the flap on the surface of the cornea. And so think of the cornea.
So let's go to the next slide.
Yeah.
Has that? Okay.
So think of the cornea like it's a book, and we basically need to open the cover of that book, and that's the creation of the flap. So we use a laser in order to cut that flap and open the cover of the book. The next step is to actually do a laser ablation where we reshape with the laser. So that part is done with a second type of laser called the excimer laser. And according to what your eye's prescription is, we can remove tissue. So think of it like we're removing pages from that book in order to correct the eye's prescription. So when somebody comes in, we clean the eye, we numb it up. The surgery itself takes about 10 minutes. The patient lies down on a flat bed. During the surgery, they feel a little bit of pressure on their eye. They feel some eye drops, but the procedure is absolutely painless. And after 10 minutes, it's all done. They just go home, and we want them to just go to sleep that first day to allow that flap to seal nicely. And the next morning when they wake up, their vision should be fantastic, and they can drive themselves to their follow-up appointment without their glasses. There are a couple of ways of creating the flap. So the older way of doing it was using the microkeratome blade. It's basically a blade that went over the surface of the eye. I call it sometimes like a lawnmower that's going over the surface of the eye to cut the flap. We don't do that at our practice anymore, and instead we use a laser. As you can imagine, the laser is safer, it's more precise, it's computer operator, and it's more predictable compared with the lawnmower device. So overall, it's much safer, and it allows us to make the beautiful flaps absolutely to the exact depth that we want. The laser that we have in our office is called the Zemer. It's 100 times faster than other lasers, and it's more precise, and it cuts beautiful, smooth flaps. The recovery is very quick, and the cornea heals very well without a lot of inflammation. And using this laser has really allowed us to have that perfect outcome that we want for our patients. So moving on to the next slide, after that flap has been cut using the laser, we lift that flap up, and then on step 4 on the next slide, we reshape with the laser. So using the excimer laser, according to the prescription, whether it's farsighted, nearsighted, or astigmatism, we can remove tissue from the cornea. And then the very last step is we close that protective flap that we created. It's like putting the cover of the book back on the surface of the eye.
Let me ask you a few questions along with this. You know, years ago, you would hear some people would get LASIK and they see stars, the star pattern. So has that been eliminated? What is the risk? And also, along with that, do people have to go in 10 years later because their eye changes shape again?
Our technology has evolved tremendously. So with the older platforms of the LASIK, it was a lot more common to get glare and halos. And we have learned over the years that with improved laser technology and with better patient selection, so folks who have abnormally sized pupils that are really large, or if they have certain aberrations on the surface of the cornea, we can now do LASIK and significantly reduce the possibility of glare and halos developing. In addition, there is an even newer technology that just came out a few years ago. It's basically a topography-guided LASIK, which is a very customizable LASIK to the surface of the eye. So the surface of the eye has little hills and valleys. Those hills and valleys are microscopic. We don't see them when we examine in the eye, but we have very advanced imaging devices now that can measure those hills and valleys. The most common way to do LASIK right now, the Wavefront Optimized, we basically get an average of all of those hills and valleys, and we do a laser treatment that corrects an average of all of those. Patients get excellent, great outcomes with this. They have 20/20 vision afterwards. But with the new technology that's called Contura or topography guided, instead of getting an average of all of those hills and valleys, we actually treat every single individual hill and valley. It is so highly customized. And that has basically eliminated glare and halos because it's so effective and so customizable to each patient's eye.
Okay, and then again, what happens 10 years later?
So,
or whatever it might be.
One of the criteria in order to be a good LASIK candidate is we want to make sure that your prescription has been stable for at least 1 year. So when I see a patient for a consultation, I review not only their current prescription, but also the history of their prescriptions to make sure that their eye is still changing. When we feel that the eye is stable, then we recommend LASIK surgery. Now, 10, 15 years down the line, it is possible that the prescription may change. So just like how somebody may need an update of their glasses at some point, they may need a LASIK touch-up. The chances of that are really low. They are less than 10%. And if they need an enhancement, at least in our practice, we give you a lifetime guarantee. So if there is a change in the prescription, we will take care of doing that LASIK touch-up. And again, it's a 10-minute procedure, just like the original LASIK, and we cover the cost of it.
And as far as candidates go, what about somebody like myself? I buy the cheap reading glasses, and of course, over time, I find myself wearing my glasses now at home to watch TV. Not that it's blurry, it just helps. It just makes it a little bit crisper. And I think one of the biggest hassles is you're in your car, I can see fine, the road, and then you look down at your infotainment screen and trying to scroll through whatever you're trying to do. It's hard enough while you're driving, but a lot of times I'll have to put my glasses on really quick just to look at that. Now, is that something where LASIK could help?
Absolutely. So what we can do with LASIK for folks who have difficulty seeing both far away and up close is something called monovision. So we correct one eye and that's typically the dominant eye, that would become perfect vision for far away. The other eye, the non-dominant eye, we correct it so that it gives you better intermediate and up-close vision. We do a test in the office to make sure that you're a good candidate for this, in addition to all the routine standard tests we do to make sure you're a good LASIK candidate. If you're able to tolerate this monovision, using your eyes for both far away and up close with monovision, one eye distance, one eye up close, then we can do LASIK surgery with that correction. And patients are thrilled with this option because now they don't have to wear the glasses far away or up close, and they have the optimal vision at all distances.
No, one eye seeing differently, what happens? The brain just corrects it?
Exactly. So naturally, we have a little bit of monovision where we have one eye that's more dominant. So it's really just augmenting something that we naturally have, where we just strengthen that distance eye and give you the near vision with the non-dominant eye.
All right. Now, you mentioned people going in and, this is the recovery time.
Yeah, let's go over that
and you said it doesn't really take very long.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, it's a 10-minute surgery and it's done in our office. It's not done at a surgery center. Patients typically take a pill of Xanax beforehand that just takes the edge off because everybody's a little bit nervous, but otherwise there's no more extensive anesthesia. We numb up the eye really well, and then as I mentioned initially, the patient just goes home and sleeps for that first day. So we do need the patient to bring a driver for the day of surgery to take them home afterwards. And the next day, they can resume their normal activities, including going back to work. The only couple of restrictions really are for women, no makeup for 1 week, just because we don't want any irritants to the surface of the eye, and also no swimming for 2 weeks. But otherwise, basically the next day, a patient who has LASIK can go back to work and resume their normal activities.
And the one other question, because we've mentioned this before, if somebody, depending on their age, they may have cataracts later on, how does that affect that?
So during the LASIK consultation, we do a full eye exam. It also includes, during the preoperative planning, a dilated eye exam in order to examine the lens and make sure that there are no signs of cataracts. If there are signs of cataracts, then that person may be a better candidate for lens replacement surgery or cataract surgery. Because if they get LASIK done when they have moderate cataracts that are ready for surgery, the cataract changes the eye's prescription.
Okay.
So a year or two later, that person may be back in our chair saying, I need a LASIK touch-up, when it's really the cataracts that have gotten worse. So that's why it's so important to get that full exam prior to LASIK, which we will do to make sure that somebody doesn't have early signs of cataracts. And if they have cataracts, then we will shift them more towards lens replacement surgery rather than LASIK.
All right. And the other question is that would this be considered LASIK cosmetic surgery, meaning it's not covered by most insurance, or it is, or it just depends?
In general, LASIK is not covered by insurance, and some insurances, some vision plans offer rebates or discounts. A lot of employers now actually offer coverage for LASIK for their employees, at least partially. So it's becoming more and more popular, and coverage sometimes is possible for them, but for the most part, it is an elective out-of-pocket procedure. Okay,
because they can say, just go get glasses.
Exactly,
right? Yes.
Exactly.
All right, very good. Good information. I appreciate it.
Thank
you. And, you know, if you're interested, you can find out if you're a candidate for it. That's the first step, right?
Yeah, it's a short visit. Typically takes about an hour to an hour and 30 minutes. We do a topography map to make sure that the surface of the eye is regular. We make sure that the cornea has normal thickness, and we make sure that the eye overall has no other pathology. And if somebody is a good LASIK candidate, we have them come back for a dilated exam and proceed with the planning.
All right. Thank you very much, Doctor. Good to see you.
Thank you very much. Good to see you too.
We'll be right back.
Hey, thanks for coming in on a weekend. It's not much, but I brought you a donut.
Aw, thanks. I already got one. Oh, it's AARP. Let me just...
Wait, are you joining AARP?
Actually, I just did.
Really? But you're not...
What, eligible? Yeah, I am. You are too, Mr. 50.
Well, yeah, technically, but I didn't think we were ready for AARP.
Then I guess you're not ready for all this.
Okay, I hear you. But is it worth it?
You tell me. So I enrolled at 7:02, saved on concert tickets at 8:10, read a great article on investing at 9, found a sweet travel deal at 10:15. I used the caregiver finder for my dad, and done. Discounted movie tickets.
Hey, check out this great office stretch I found. I didn't know AARP offered all that. How much to join?
See for yourself.
That's all? For a year?
Which includes?
The donut.
Free with my morning coffee.
No way.
If you don't think instant benefits when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Join today for just $12 and get discounts from eye care to travel to entertainment. So many ways to save. Instant resources, tips, and tools to help manage your money, maximize your health, and so much more. AARP is mobile. Just the right offers find you at just the right time. And we hear you, so your voice will be heard. The world of AARP, yours today for just $12 for your first year, and that includes your spouse. And a subscription to AARP the magazine, plus this travel bag, absolutely free. It's not too soon. Don't miss out. Join AARP today.
Call 1-800-748-6813.
And join AARP for just $12 for your first year. You'll also get this travel bag free when you join.
Call 1-800-748-6813.
Or visit tryaarp.org.
Over 25 years, we have worked hard to make Brilliant Smile the premier dental office in Laguna Woods. We take the extra time to understand our patients' special needs and always perform the highest quality dental work at affordable prices in a relaxing and friendly environment. There is no need to refer our patients to anybody else. We perform everything from cleaning all the way to the implant and sinus surgeries all under one roof. Stop in or call and experience the Brilliant Smile difference.
Well, coming up a week from today on November 25th, the Tea Party Sentinels will be having their monthly meeting. And today with me is, of course, Richard Palmer. Good to see you.
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So next week you have someone who's been a speaker with you folks
yeah,
before,
we've had
a
him
few
before.
times. Yeah, Brad Dacus.
Yeah.
And tell us about Brad.
You know, he is America's patriot. I can't explain it any other way, because he helps little guys that have been banged around by the politicians who exceeded their authority, and you know he's fighting religious persecution, and he's fighting what's going on in the schools, and he just, if a person is being harassed by any agency, he just steps in and covers the whole expense.
Okay.
So, I mean, the guy is amazing. I was so delighted that he was able to speak to
And
our
he,
group.
and this organization is called the Pacific Justice Institution, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was just totally impressed, and he's on a lot of radio stations. Of course, I don't listen to any of them except Fox News. But that's my...
Yeah, I see here you've written all the different things he's been on. So is he basically, you know, he said he helps all different people. So is he basically nonpartisan? It's like somebody needs help with something and that feels...
If they're being harassed
Okay.
by an agency, he will step in.
Okay.
I don't think he even asked, you know, what their political affiliation is.
Yeah, that doesn't matter then.
But the
Okay.
chances are, if this is a Democrat, they're not gonna complain.
Right.
Because we have a one-party system here.
Yeah.
So, but he actually handled all the western states for 5 years, and then he decided to just concentrate on California.
Okay.
Because we really need somebody like him with all the stuff that's going on.
And he's within this area?
Yeah,
He lives in-
lives-
okay.
Yeah, in fact, he has a Christmas party. He's in Orange County.
Okay.
And he works out of San Francisco. His main office is
Okay.
there, but he has a local office too.
Okay.
So, but he, you know, I hate to bring politics in when I'm discussing Brad, because he is so patriotic. He's just full of love for this country. But what's going on today in the news is an abysmal thing going on, especially with Schiff running his committee, and he acts like he's a judge and jury.
Right.
And I watched him. You know, I have to watch him to see what's going on, but he's just so abrupt. I mean, he won't let anybody speak. He won't let anybody come in that's contrary to what he's promoting, and what he's promoting is not correct. So if you compare what Brad is doing, and I can compare him to Trump, because they're both trying to clear out all the garbage, and they're both doing it successfully. I was appalled when I heard that these ambassadors were running the State Department. I thought the president's job was to run the State Department. I mean, so that's why there's so much animosity, because he's opposing what the normal operation is.
Okay.
All presidents let them do what they want to do, and he's the first one that stepped in, and rightfully too, because they're misdirecting this country in a terrible way.
So is this something that your speaker, Brad's going to talk about, or is he going to talk about mainly his organization?
Oh,
and how that
no,
operates?
he's not going to be talking about politics.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't expect him to, but I'm just bringing it up as a comparison. It's just abysmal what's going on. It's almost a shock. I mean, I was, a long time ago, I was a Democrat, And today's party is nowhere near what it was before.
Yeah.
So there was always some funny stuff going on, but nothing this ridiculous. So, but Brad himself is a great guy. He got his degree in law degree in Texas, and he worked with Phil Graham.
Okay.
So he's very active politically, but not at the forefront of his organization.
Well, I know he's been a speaker with you guys before a few times, and people come here and listen, and you open it up for questions, and do you usually do that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, and we're handing out slips. He's. I feel, I contribute to him every month because, I just so believe in what he's doing. How can anybody deny what he's doing is not correct? He's just a patriot. He's just full of love for this country, and he hates when people are being bulldozed by bureaucrats. That's simple. That's as simple as I used to put it.
So again, want to let everyone know this is next Monday, not tonight.
Right.
November 25th. It's at Clubhouse 7, and the doors open at 6:30. The meeting starts at 7 o'clock. So you can just head on over there and enjoy the evening.
Yeah, I must say one thing.
Sure.
I was really let down when I finished my second term on the GRF.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd maybe be an advisor.
Okay.
Because nobody there knows what's going on as far as air conditioning goes. And so that's where my expertise is.
Okay.
So I'm trying to keep them on par. Right now we're looking at Clubhouse 1, which they're talking about $15 million. Clubhouse 3 is another $15 million. We can't. There's no way we can afford that.
Right.
So.
Well, maybe you'll get on one of the committees then as an advisor.
No, I'll just be an advisor to MNC and.
Okay.
Or maybe on the energy thing.
All right. Very good, Richard. Always good to see you.
Oh, thank you, Ken.
Take care of yourself. And we'll see you next month, right? Are you having a meeting in December or not?
No. We're going dark.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Always do.
Okay.
We're sending out a notice too.
Okay, so then we'll see you in a couple months then.
Right.
All right, you take care.
Yeah.
Always good to see you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Dr. Yi-Wing Tong and Dr. Elaine Tong specialize in treating chronic pain and other disorders without drugs or surgery. Our therapy uses anesthetic injections to enhance acupuncture, curing disorders by restoring circulation and health. Most of our patients have tried all kinds of therapies without benefit, but obtained relief with their first treatment. Whether you are suffering from chronic pain, mental disorders, or simply wanting to maintain optimal health, we are here to help. Call today for your free phone consultation.
Welcome back. With me right now is Mark Earlwine, and he's going to tell us about some wonderful products of his that you can find at LA Carpet. Mark, a pleasure.
Ken,
nice to meet you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Now, obviously, we have little models here of a bathtub and a shower pan. I guess that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, we're talking about when you take the bathroom, we're talking about specifically the wet area of the bathroom, whether it be the tub, the shower, not the toilet or anything, but the wet area. That's where all the water's going through it. And that is the area, when you're looking at remodeling, is the most important to look at doing it correctly.
Yeah. And as we know that one of the most costliest things that you can remodel in your home is, of course, a kitchen or a bathroom.
Absolutely.
And you know, the importance behind especially a bathroom is having it done right, with products that are quality products, and they're going to be sealed properly, no leaking, right?
Yeah, I always ask Ken, you and I were talking about this a little before this aired here, but what's the most expensive home improvement project you can do? And I always ask homeowners that. And they go, it's a kitchen or the bathroom. Well, no, it's actually the one you got to do again.
Well, there you go.
If you don't use the proper systems, materials, and the proper company or contractor to install it.
Yeah.
So, you know, do your homework. That's one of the things we're trying to do here, is do a little education. This new technology that's out there that's available through LA Carpet. But yeah, that's it. And the bathroom and the kitchen are without a doubt one of the best investments too, if done properly.
You know, and it is, irregardless if you're thinking of staying at your home for years to come or you're going to resell it one day. It's something that you want to be proud of when it's done. You want to go in there and go, I'm happy to be in this space. And the two places that, you know, often you spend the most time in, and it's very important that it's something that is very pleasing to you.
Oh my gosh, it's funny. You know, as bathrooms have become and they're projecting between 20 and 26, the #1 remodeling segment of the home that people are requesting. Oddly enough, it is one of the last rooms to get remodeled. And what people, you and I were talking, what people do is they'll take the shower curtain, they'll cover it up. No, I'll deal with that later. I'll deal with that mold and mildew later, that leaky faucet, I'll deal with that later.
Yeah.
And you know what we do is we say, no, we're going to get this done so fast, and you're going to be so proud of it. It's going to be so beautiful, and you're going to show this off. And oh, guess what? You're going to use it every day and enjoy it.
That's the key.
That's right.
Now, tell us about your product here. We have you know, models of these, of course, a traditional step-in bath and, you know, a shower pan here. But what makes your products different and such high quality?
Yeah, these are systems, and I call, a lot of people have different names for them. They say fiberglass, plastic, whatever. It's nothing like that. This is a high-tech polymer composite. And people go, what is a high-tech polymer composite? Basically, a composite is a layering of materials. Through a process. We take ABS, which is the strongest strength to weight ratio construction material, period. That's 85% of the material. And it's used in underground water mains throughout the state of California. It's used in football helmets. It's used in car bumpers, space shuttle. We make it look like conventional materials, but we add these features. There's an advent of this new technology called 4K graphic imaging. You've seen it on TV.
Yeah.
You can go to any big shop and see a TV, and they go, oh my gosh, the definition is so incredible.
Right.
We take that same technology now and we'll duplicate it. We'll take a photograph of a big slab of marble or granite, or, you know, to simulate the exact look of it, and we'll layer it between the ABS and this material that's called clear acrylic. It's the same stuff used on airplane windows. It's used in big aquariums where you see it.
Yeah.
And it's like bullet resistant. But here's the feature: it's non-porous, so no water or moisture will go in there. So now when you bathe, water's not going everywhere else. You and I were talking about leaking. Remodeling your systems bathroom leaks. That's why our warranty is so strong. It's a lifetime warranty. Non-porous surface, you still get the look and beauty of real tile and granite, but now it's safe bathing. You're not bathing in chemicals that you clean with, bleach and everything, and washing it down our environment.
Let me ask you, obviously what we have here are white models of,
these are to replicate, simulate how water, our objective at LA, you know, we get the water from the shower head or the spigot down to the drain and go nowhere else. So everything's designed, component's designed to have a level of slip resistance to it.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And so everything, as you see here, no water will sit on the peaks and valleys, but they will drain down to the drain.
Right.
So now you've got an element of slip resistance built into it, so you're not going to bathe in standing water.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of this.
And from what you were saying, the graphics you can apply to this, it's not just white. You have all kinds of different
different
designs and colors.
We do a study of what are the most popular granites being used now on kitchen countertops and bathroom walls or whatever, and then we replicate that.
Yeah.
And then we use it in this technology.
And if somebody wants a color, just white or gray or whatever.
Absolutely. Oddly enough, the lighter grays, the lights, and the whites are the most popular. But that's okay.
No avocado green, is that coming back?
No.
You and I remember
don't
that,
have
right?
that. We cover up a lot of avocado green.
So how do you guys go in and do this in a couple days?
Well, the beautiful part about it is when, for example, LA Carpet would come out, their design consultant would literally measure, okay, from the stud to foundation.
Okay.
And then what they do is they take those dimensions and they go from the stud. And one of the things I always say at our top dealers, a top company like LA Carpet, they don't remodel the bathroom, they rebuild it from the foundation up, because the system we're putting in is designed to basically do that. Subtly expand and contract, but never break the seals. So those dimensions then get set back to the factory.
Okay.
So they come back absolutely to the fraction of an inch, and they're designed to be put in efficiently on the job site, in the home, to the foundation within a day and a half.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're not without having a bathroom for weeks. Sometimes I've seen nightmare stories. Believe me,
from experience
with conventional materials. Yeah. This is the whole system that's designed to be in and out and done efficiently.
Yeah, and that's how you can do it for a quality product at a reasonable cost.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a great investment. Absolutely.
Now, let's go back a little bit, because I think this is an important thing. Is it might be a little hard to see on camera, a little bit there. You can see it, the slip resistance that you
might
have
be able
here.
to look at the back side.
Yeah, well, there.
Where you
there
can
you
see
go.
how it's kind of then gets,
Yeah, so it's the reverse of this on the inside.
Correct.
But the same.
But you don't see it. Look, it doesn't look like that, but it's designed.
This is so important. I don't care what age you're at. It's very important.
Thank you. It's thanks, Ken. That's absolute fantastic point. People don't realize that's the most. I don't care what age you are. It's the most dangerous area of the home.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons. One is there's water in there. Two is you're jumping over a tub to maybe get into something. We always say, hey, let's put in materials, they'll have the water drain, and let's put in strategically placed safety grab rails that don't have to look therapeutic.
Right.
And we have some designer rails now, the grab rails, that look so beautiful that we match all of the fixtures, and they look stunning.
Yeah.
And when you have them,
that's a very good point.
Oh, when you have them, you start using them, you go, oh my gosh, why haven't I had these my whole life? You know?
And you also, along with that, you can match up the type of fixtures you're putting in, all kinds of things.
Absolutely.
Right?
Oil rub bronze to brush nickel's real popular right now.
Yeah.
Chrome it's kind of there.
Yeah.
But we even actually have gold now and actually black.
Oh, okay.
So some really cool stuff coming out.
That is really neat.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really glad you were able to come by today and show us this. This is really cool stuff.
Oh, it is. It's amazing. It's the company is, the technology is just, it's going to be the new, I would say, consumer demanded product line instead of conventional materials going forward.
And something that can be done in a couple
days.
If
people are looking for safety, if they're budget minded, if they're looking for environmentally safe for the environment, you name it. There's so many cool features with these new systems, and they're available at LA Carpet. It's awesome. Yeah.
Very good. Mark,
Thanks,
great to talk with you.
Appreciate it.
You take care.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, cool stuff.
You bet.
All right, we'll be back.
Holiday season is near, and Diane's Hallmark is your one-stop shop for the special people in your life. We have beautiful, unique gifts and decorations, women's clothing, religious items, cards of course, and a wide selection of amazing, fun items you must see to believe. Come see why so many of your neighbors come to Diane's Hallmark for their holiday needs. Diane's Hallmark is close by in Laguna Niguel. Stop in to see our broad selection of year-round and seasonal gifts and cards.
Welcome back. Well, with me right now is somebody I think if you've been watching for a while you may know, and that is Bill Crawford, who's the owner of the Laguna Hills Lodge, and then somebody that I'd like to welcome on for the first time, Beth Scott, who is the owner of Chick-fil-A, and of course you folks,
our neighbors.
Our neighbors, you sell a driveway, so thank you very much for both of you coming. Thank you. We'll get to your sandwiches in just a moment. Bill, tell us about the history of Laguna Hills Lodge. It's how many years now? 50 years?
A little over 50 years.
Yeah.
It's kind of a fun connection with Laguna Woods, aka Leisure World. In 1968, 20 retirees from Laguna Woods each invested $5,000, and they built Laguna Hills Lodge. And they did that because when family came to visit, there was no place to stay.
Yeah.
This area was, as you know, orange groves and some bean fields. So families would have to drive to Laguna Beach to find a hotel. So these retirees invested in the lodge, and they picked a site just outside, across the street from Laguna Woods and close to the 5 freeway. And so ever since that time, we've been sort of the spare bedroom for Laguna Woods.
And how long have you had it in your family?
Since 1972. So
okay.
So what happened is, as you might guess, 20 individuals, $5,000 each. After a few years, they don't all agree on how things should work out. So they decided to part ways, and at that time, 72, 4 years later, they offered it for sale, and so my family bought it at that point. So we've owned it ever since. We had Hyatt manage it for a few years, and then after that, we took over ourselves.
Okay, and that happens sometimes with different hotels, and they'll have a third party come in and do something with them, like the Marriott autograph and things like that. But it's good that you folks are doing this, because it's like your family, your home base is here, you know the community well.
Yeah, we really have a connection with the community, and it is a family. We have our personal families, we have our business families, and so actually this year is the 40th anniversary for our housekeeping manager, who has been at the hotel for 40 years. And she met her husband at the lodge, and he's been the maintenance manager for 39 years.
Wow.
So your point is well taken, Kenny. It's a family.
And one of the things that you're noted for, besides great service and the rooms, but the gardens there are beautiful.
Thank you, yeah. Oh, my dad gets credit for that. So we have 350 varieties of roses.
Wow.
450 rose bushes around the perimeter of the property, 80 bougainvilleas and clematis. So it's not sterile chain-like at all. It's very family, Mediterranean looking, and it really works well. A lot of our guests come out in April and May, and there are flowers all over the place.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Now, we'll talk about your specials in just a moment. I want to welcome again Beth here, and you and your family have been the owners, the franchise owners of Chick-fil-A since 2015, right?
Yes, yes.
And I was surprised, because we talked about, I remember when it first opened, we did a segment over there with the couple that owned it before you, and they moved back to Texas. And I was surprised it's been there 7 years.
Yeah,
to me, it's, So how did you come across getting into the franchise business?
Sure. Well, I mean, similar to the lodge, we're very family oriented. So you might have heard about Chick-fil-A being family owned, and then each franchise having someone in the local community. And I've owned a business before and just love serving the community and the people. And a good friend of mine owned a Chick-fil-A, so I was in his restaurant slinging fries and really learning about what it took, and just loved every component of it.
Yeah, both of you, you're in the hospitality service business. They are not easy businesses to operate, because you have to stay at a certain level. And we know that, especially now with online opinions and reviews and things like that. It's even harder than it was years ago. So when you get into those two kinds of businesses, to maintain that is really a challenge, isn't it?
It is. So easier said than done. So in the hotel business, we look at TripAdvisor as an indicator, and so I use that as a gauge and read those reviews all the time, pay attention to what the folks say. And we're happy to say that we've won the TripAdvisor Award of Excellence each year for the last 8 years. And 1 out of 10 hotels gets that each year. So we feel really good. And that's why we like Chick-fil-A too, because they're so focused on service and they're a good neighbor. We send customers back and forth all the time because we know we can trust them to do a good job.
Yeah, we do really look at it as a people business, not a chicken business.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of it, is just the training and that culture that we start with our team.
Right.
So that it emanates out to the guests.
And you folks are open You open at 6?
We open at 6:30
Okay,
a.m.
6:30,
So
okay.
we have breakfast, which a lot of people don't even realize.
And you know, it's interesting, when Chick-fil-A first came to the area, which is probably about 12 years ago, you know, you heard about them, but they weren't in Southern California yet. And people heard of them, boy, they got the breakfast chicken biscuits sandwiches, which around here at first you're going, what? Which is very common, certainly in the South.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
around the rest of the country.
Yeah, I have to admit, my favorite is our chicken burrito because I am a West Coast girl.
Yeah.
But we hand make the biscuits, so
Yes, you
if
do.
you haven't tried them, you should. They're really good.
And you also, the chicken that you get in is fresh, you do everything
Correct. All our produce is fresh. We hand bread our chicken. We hand squeeze the lemonade. So it's the service and that quality, even though we are in the fast food industry, that we want to make sure it's the best quality we can give.
And we also want to mention that you folks are closed on Sundays.
Correct.
Okay.
That is a blessing.
Yeah, so let everyone know that, you know, if you go by Sunday, in fact, they were talking about that for the Super Bowl at Mercedes Stadium, that the Chick-fil-A there, somebody goes, what do? They just close? And they go, well, someone came on, they go, no, actually what they do for the games that are on Sunday, they transform it to like a pop-up type place, a different thing. But even there, for the Super Bowl,
We were still closed
you
on
were still
Sundays.
closed.
Yes.
All right. You and Holly Lobby.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Now, you're not closed on Sundays.
We're open
but
24/7.
You're open 24/7, and you have a great deal here for the folks.
We do for Laguna Woods right now through May 23rd, 35% off, which is really good for our garden rooms. And we only offer the garden rooms to Laguna Woods because that's our upscale room.
Oh, great.
We have 2 types, standard and garden, and all those rooms have been remodeled in the last 2 years. So it's a really nice, attractive offer.
Very good.
Yeah.
Now, as far as people coming over there and just walking the gardens, they're welcome to do that, right?
Oh, sure.
Because it is beautiful. I really tell people, you know, go by there and just stroll through there. But you know what? Then you, in your mind, you think, hey, I got some family or friends visiting. This is where they can go. You don't want them staying at your place. You don't want that. But have them stay there and then walk across and have some chicken sandwiches.
Yeah.
All right.
And we have a senior beverage that we offer. So this is all the time, Monday through Saturday. So anytime anyone comes in and purchases something, they get a free soda, coffee, or tea.
Okay.
So just to encourage, you know, we want you to come by and check us out.
All right, very good. Have the lemonade, though.
Yes,
I mean,
that's true.
delicious.
Fresh squeezed lemonade.
Yeah, that's the best. Thank you very much.
you.
We have a map here. I think a lot of people know where both of you are at. Now, you're technically on Paseo de Valencia, so you're sort of behind the Laguna Hills City Hall. And of course, Chick-fil-A is right there on El Toro Road.
Right.
But I think most people know where you folks are. You've been around quite a while.
We have.
All right. Good to see you. Hope
Nice
to see you again.
Right.
And
Yes,
thank you much.
thank you.
Thank you.
After the show, I'll be diving into those sandwiches.
Please do.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll be
Bye-bye.
right back.
Hi, I'm John Bowser Bauman. You probably know me best as Bowser from Sha-Na-Na, but I'm also president of Social Security Works PAC. And you know, when I'm in Laguna Woods, I always watch Village Television. Grease for peace.
And our movie today is called The Best of Enemies. It came out earlier this year. It is based on a true story that takes place during 1971. A civil rights activist, Ann Atwater, faces off against the exalted leader of the Ku Klux Klan in Durham, North Carolina, over the issue of school integration. Very powerful movie. And as I said, this is based on a true story. It stars Taraji P. Henson and Sam Rockwell. Good movie. It runs an hour and 13 minutes. So we'll bring that to you today at 2 and at 6 o'clock. Now, our movie coming up on Friday is called Ophelia, and this is based on the classic romance that I'm sure you've heard about, Ophelia. It's has been redone and redone many, many times. This is a new one, a real imagining of Hamlet, told from Ophelia's perspective. As a rebellious, motherless child, Ophelia is taken into the castle by Queen Gertrude as one of her most trusted ladies in waiting, and soon enough, Ophelia captures the affections of the young Prince Hamlet. A passionate romance kindles between the two in secret as the kingdom is on the brink of war amidst its own political intrigue and betrayal. Daisy Ridley stars in this, and Clive Owen, Naomi Watts. So a very good cast, and that will be coming up on Friday at 2 o'clock and at 7 o'clock. Should be good. Now, I want to remind you folks that Recreation has been doing a Monday Night Football for the past couple months or so. And tonight, if you would like to enjoy watching the game, which is being done in Mexico City tonight, the Chiefs versus the Chargers, kickoff is at 5 o'clock over in 19 Restaurant and Lounge. It's right next to the main restaurant there in the club rooms, and it's a free event. I think they have a few little things like chips and salsa out and that sort of thing. Of course, if you want to buy more food, 19 Restaurant is there as well. If you want to buy drinks, that is up to you. But should be a good game. Chiefs versus Chargers playing down in Mexico City tonight. Also, the Christian Women's Connection is having their meeting. That will be tomorrow. And their special guest will be Gina Watson, who is with South Bay Jewelry. She's going to be talking about antique jewelry and maybe if you've got even silver and all kinds of different things, you can bring them there and she'll take a look at them and maybe kind of give you an overall view of what they could be worth. So she'll be there. They also have another guest speaker, Lana Beardsley, who is a teacher and counselor and mother of 8. All right, that will be tomorrow at 11:45 a.m. to 1:30 over at Clubhouse 7. It's a wonderful buffet lunch, and the cost is $14 per person. Now, as I said earlier, we got a real strange weather pattern this week. We're starting off warm, dry, slight offshore breezes, and then by Wednesday, we're looking at maybe up to an inch of rain on Wednesday and Thursday. Now, that could all change, of course, but it is in the forecast, and all the different forecasts that I looked at today, it was all in there. So we'll see. In fact, certain areas could get an inch and a half of rain or so. The local mountains, Big Bear and those areas should get their first dusting of snow, and that could begin as early as Tuesday. So do expect it to be mostly cloudy as we get to the late afternoon. I think we'll be partly cloudy, a few scattered clouds in the morning, Tuesday morning. And then the clouds are going to start to come in, more overcast. Chance of evening rain on Tuesday. Just warning you about that. If you got things outside you want to cover, make sure you do. And then possibly holding over all the way into Friday morning of a little bit of drizzle. So look at the change in temperature. I mean, you're talking between today and Wednesday, 25 degrees difference. That's huge. All right, around the county today, same story, just really nice and warm, and all those temperatures you're going to see drastically drop over the next couple days. All right, we will see you tomorrow. You have a really good day. Take care. Bye-bye.